Sir Jim Ratcliffe looked more than a little shame-faced when he headed into Manchester United's dressing room to congratulate his FA Cup winners. A journalist in Wembley's mixed zone area shouted after him as to whether Ten Hag would be in charge of United next week.
There were no smiles or laughs in return. Instead, right-hand man Sir Dave Brailsford ushered Ratcliffe away from the naughty questioner. It was reminiscent of Mr. Burns and Smithers from The Simpsons. Because the plan had already been hatched ahead of Saturday's 2-1 win over Manchester City.
And this was all rather awkward. Louis van Gaal was booed when he picked up the FA Cup back in 2016, just before he was given the bullet. Read more. Man United NEWSDEVIL make Air Man United star set for Ajax transfer, unless club hire his old boss. Eurovision player bracket challenge game for free ahead of this summer's Euros. The fans simply never took to Van Gaal, or his style of play.
Ten Hag is very different, and Saturday felt very different to that extra-time victory over Crystal Palace, with United very much in the role of underdog. This was a stunning performance from Ten Hag's troops, and United's triumph over a team widely regarded as the best in the world will live long in the memory.
It was also a personal triumph for the unassuming guy who had arrived at Old Trafford full of life and ideas to make United better, which in many ways he has. Most read in football. Guard up. Pep Guardiola set for his final Man City season amid player exodus fears. Green light. Mason Greenwood releases statement on future after Getafe fan chants injury scare. Greenwood's final match delayed by horror injury to keeper as ambulance called on. The Ras Hodgland leads UTD's FA Cup celebrations as Stars and Prem's hottest wag party. Casino special. Best casino welcome offers. Having been dealt a dreadful hand with injuries in his second season, he tried to explain to Ratcliffe and his team just how much this has affected performances.
But it seems Sir Jim hasn't listened. Nor has he taken notice of the way Ten Hag has carefully brought Saturday's scorers Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo into the first team, with spectacular results. Man United boss Ten Hag fires defiant response over future after FA Cup win amid rumours Sir Jim Ratcliffe will sack him. Ratcliffe has fired out emails criticising the state of an office, called the club museum crap, and withdrew travel and lunch benefits for United staff on FA Cup final day to cut costs.
There is early proof the new men overseeing United's football department do not know what they are doing, not least in the way they deal with people. Including the most important one of all, the manager. At no point since acquiring 27. .7% of the club has Ineos chief Ratcliffe referenced Ten Hag by name publicly. Even after the Dutchman picked up silverware for the second successive season on Saturday, he was not name-checked. Ratcliffe said, "We are all very proud of the players and the staff." Seriously? Ten Hag's Man United record. Here is a look at Ten Hag's record in charge of Manchester United. Games: 114 wins, 68 draws, 15 losses, 31 goals scored, 207 goals conceded, 156 points per game, 1.
92 honours. EFL Cup X1, 2023, FA Cup X1, 2024. When you have spent the previous few weeks scouting around for a replacement, it must be difficult to hail the manager. Ratcliffe and his team seem to have spoken to anyone able to set up Subbuteo. And everyone they have spoken to believes they have got the job.
Thomas Tuchel turned down the chance to stay at Bayern Munich, believing he is in pole position. Mauricio Pochettino and his people are happy it is known Ratcliffe likes him, having been beaten to the United job by Ten Hag 2 years ago.
And Graham Potter has close links with incoming director of football Dan Ashworth from their time together at Brighton. Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna has also been spoken to. He attracted big money at the bookies on Friday, some of it based on a member of his family cancelling a golf round.
Lawyers for Gareth Southgate have apparently got a car revving as they get ready for sit-down talks with United officials. It makes sense for all of them to have their name linked with the impossible job, still one every manager craves.
Ten Hag is clearly unhappy with the way he has been treated through this sorry affair. He did not bring the FA Cup into his press conference, as Van Gaal had as a show of defiance before his exit, thrusting it towards me as he left the room.
As with his fellow Dutchman, Ten Hag's post-match press conference should have been a time of celebration. Ten Hag should have been able to discuss how he set up his team superbly to nullify Manchester City, play on the counter and upset the odds.
And talk about the fact that with almost his entire squad fit and available again, he has a team to compete. Instead, it was all about his future, or lack of it, as United boss. He came close to cracking in anger as he declared, "If they don't want me anymore then I'll go somewhere else to win trophies because that is what I did my whole career."
The press officer who was sat next to him looked visibly moved at one point. But he allowed the questions to flow and the manager to speak, because Ten Hag never ducks a question or losing his temper. This, however, was as close as it has got to him doing just that. On the other side of the wall, Johnny Evans was defending a man who seemed genuinely popular with the players.
Marcus Rashford may not have got on with him, but he was in tears on the pitch at the end, maybe because he regretted his part in the manager's downfall. During the celebrations on the pitch, Ten Hag embraced left-back Luke Shaw, who had missed most of this season with injury, and spoke with him more than any other player.
He also spent time with Toby Collier, a 20-year-old yet to make his pro United debut. That is the sort of guy he is. Yet you wonder who behind the scenes was hugging Ten Hag with genuine warmth.
There did not seem to be much of that between the Dutchman and Ratcliffe as he went up to the royal box for the presentations. While Ratcliffe was all over City boss Pep Guardiola, the handshake for Ten Hag was wet and cold.
Later, they would all be in the dressing room sharing the glory: Ratcliffe, Brailsford, Avram Glazer, David Gill and Sir Alex Ferguson. Yet not long after, Ten Hag seemed so alone. It was about 2 hours after the final whistle that he finally left Wembley.
All the lengthy, choreographed celebrations that follow any triumph in football and the subsequent interviews were now complete. The adrenaline levels were starting to drop. The reality of the situation now facing the Dutchman was kicking in.
Read more. Sun STORIESCLAIM it warning for parents of 470,000 children missing out on free school meals. NICE try bizarre moment. Shopper fakes accident before demanding thousands in compensation. As he walked alone towards the team bus, he recognized a few faces who had charted his 2 years as United manager in the newspapers with praise, questions, concerns and, yes, at times criticism. As he waved to each one he recognized, you could not help but feel sad for him.